Hello everyone, I'm Lien and I'm so happy you're joining me again today on the Crafty Meraki YouTube channel. Today I have a fun little Christmas card for you guys and let's get right into it. I'm starting out by using my new favorite holiday stamp set. It's by My Favorite Things and it's the Dino-Mite Christmas stamp set. It has all these little dinosaurs, a couple of gifts as well, and super fun sentiments too, even though I didn't use one on today's card. Now I chose 3 dinosaurs to stamp on some Clairefontaine DCP 250 GSM cardstock. And I stamped them in the My Favorite Things Extreme Black ink. This is alcohol marker friendly ink, so I did use my alcohol markers to color these in. These dinos are so cute and festive. I really love them, but I don't really love my coloring for this one. And I'm going to explain you what I did and what I would do differently. So I tried some new marker combinations for these dinosaurs. I wanted 2 green dinos and 1 teal one, but the markers I chose were a little bit too far apart. And what happens with these markers, at least, these are the Decotime Twin Brush markers, you kind of bleach the darkest color if you go over it with a color that is too light. So for this teal one, for example, you could really see that it would bleach the color underneath, and it doesn't do that evenly, so it looks a little weird. So next time, just don't use markers that are so far apart. The same happened with this third dino. With the first dino, what I don't really love is that it's so dark. This card is already quite dark because I used a night sky background. So I like the coloring on the dino and I like the night sky, I just don't love them together. Now I didn't have time to start over, so I just rolled with it. But if I were to make this card again, those are the things I would do differently. And I thought that would be useful to show as well, just so you can see where I make mistakes and where I learn from them too. Now I don't want to use too many colors on this card. I don't want it to be too busy. So I just used some reds for the gifts and for some of the Santa hats. And then I used all markers that I've used before in the dinos to repeat in the presents and on the little spikes on the dino backs. So the colors return and it looks a lot more cohesive. I will also use some yellow for the Christmas lights around the first dino and for the stars on both of the Christmas trees. Once these are all colored in, I can fussy cut them out and set them aside to work on the rest of my card. For the background, I chose some dark blue cardstock, or some mid-tone blue cardstock, I guess, and I blended some Wilted Violet Distress Oxide ink onto that with some chipped Sapphire as well, and later I will also use black Soot. The Wilted Violet is quite purple before it dries, and once it dries back, it will blend a little bit more in with that blue of the paper. So it won't be a super purple night sky, but it will just have that slight hint of pink to it. I really love the look. It doesn't show up too much on camera because my camera really loves blue and not purple for some reason. So it's quite hard to color correct that, but it is a little bit more purple than it shows in the pictures. Now I also wanted a snowdrift, and I have this pearlescent white cardstock that I just freehand cut a snow hill out of. Just some wavy cutting. To give this a little bit of a shadow, a little bit more definition, I will also blend on some ink to that as well. You can see I didn't clean my mat in between. I just am careful to choose the one clean spot I have left. And I'm blending on some tumbled glass Distress Oxide ink. I'm using blending brushes for this because that gives me the smoothest blend, but you use whatever you're comfortable with, of course. And once I'm done with that, I can start assembling my card. Now I did do some die cutting off screen. I die cut the Timeless Frames Mini Slimline die, once from Gold Mirror cardstock, and I also die cut that sky background that I made. I die cut it first with the Crafty Twinkle Slimline die, and then I die cut it as well with the Timeless Frames Mini Slimline die. So it would fit perfectly inside that frame. And I just backed it with that gold mirror cardstock that I had left over from my frame to fill in those stars. If you want to see another method of doing this, last week I shared another night sky background with this gorgeous Crafty Twinkle Slimline die, and I inlaid the stars that time. I really loved that look as well, but I didn't have time for it today. I adhered the frame onto a mini slimline card base that is slightly smaller than a usual mini slimline because I wanted to fit behind those scalloped edges of the frame. I propped the snow hill up on one layer of foam tape, and then I propped up the dinos as well. There's 2 extra layers of foam tape underneath the dinosaurs on top of that snowy hill, and then 1 extra layer where they don't touch the snowy hill. So in total, there's always 3 layers of foam tape between the dinosaurs and the card base. So there's a lot of dimension on this card, which I love. Now for my envelope, I just have this lovely patterned paper laying around. So I folded a mini slimline envelope out of that as well with my We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board. And that will finish up my project for today. Love all that shine on this card. I really love the gold frame as well. I'm not too much of a fan of my coloring on this one, but I think the card pulls it together anyway. I am so in love with these Dino-Mite Christmas dinosaurs by My Favorite Things. They are so adorable, and I just saw that they are releasing more dinos in their next release. So I'm very excited about that as well. These at least are available at Crafty Meraki along with all the dies I used today. So I'll make sure to link those in the description below so you can check them out. And don't forget, I have a live crafty session over on the Crafty Meraki Instagram account tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So make sure you come and join me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.